What's a school rumor you heard as a kid that turned out to be true years later? Our middle school had this unoccupied classroom that was always locked. Door 213. Nobody ever went in or out. The blinds were always down, and there was this weird yellowish stain that crept out from under the door onto the hallway floor. Maintenance would clean it, but it always came back. The rumor was that a student died there in the 80s during a science experiment gone wrong. Something about mixing the wrong chemicals that created toxic gas. We all laughed it off as typical school ghost stories, the kind every school has. The weird part was how teachers would react whenever anyone asked about it. They'd change the subject or suddenly remember urgent paperwork. Our chemistry teacher, Mr. Langley, once went completely silent mid-lecture when a student asked if the room 2113 accident was why we had so many safety protocols. Our principal once snapped at a kid for even mentioning room 213 during a school tour for prospective parents. I remember him grabbing the kid's shoulder and whispering something that made the kid go pale. Nobody brought it up again that year. By high school, we'd forgotten about it. Just another middle school urban legend, like the swimming pool on the roof or the janitor who was secretly a millionaire. I forgot all about it until last month at my 15-year reunion. I was catching up with Mrs. Bennett, my old English teacher who'd retired 5 years ago. After her fourth glass of wine, she'd gotten nostalgic about her teaching days. I jokingly asked, "So what was really the deal with room 213? Was it actually haunted or what?" Her face went pale. She set down her glass and looked around to see if anyone was listening. "How do you know about the radiation?" she whispered. I thought she was joking, but her hands were shaking. Turns out in 1984, the science department had gotten some equipment donated by a local research facility that was shutting down. Budget cuts meant they didn't look too closely at the paperwork. One of the devices, some kind of spectrometer, had been improperly decommissioned. It leaked low-level radiation for months before anyone noticed. The school district quietly conducted tests after 3 teachers from adjacent classrooms developed similar health problems. When the results came back, they immediately sealed the room, but kept the school open. The levels weren't immediately dangerous, according to the consultant they hired. They could have removed the equipment properly, but the decontamination would have cost millions and required shutting down the school for a semester. Instead, they sealed the room permanently, fired the science department head with a generous severance package that included an NDA, and told everyone there was structural damage that made the room unsafe. "But there was never any dead student?" I asked. "No," she said. "That story was actually encouraged by administration. Better to have kids scared of a ghost than asking about radiation exposure. We all signed NDAs," she said. "But the statute expired last year. The district's lawyers have been calling us all, offering settlements. The yellow stain? Probably just water damage from a bathroom above, but the regular cleaning was part of the monitoring protocol. They were testing for contamination spread." The next day, I drove by my old middle school. Room 213's windows were now bricked over, not just blinds. I parked and noticed construction equipment around back. A worker told me they were finally doing remediation work over summer break. The school board minutes, which I looked up later, euphemistically called it addressing legacy infrastructure concerns. 3 weeks later, Mrs. Bennett sent me a news clipping, a small announcement that the school district had settled a class action lawsuit for an undisclosed amount with 23 former employees. No admission of wrongdoing. The district statement: "We take the health and safety of our staff and students seriously and continually update our facilities to meet modern standards." I sometimes wonder how many of us sat in classrooms sharing walls with 213 and whether the annual physical the district required was really just screening for radiation symptoms. I've scheduled a doctor's appointment just to be safe.